skills here. Today we are gonna go over Godzilla -1. Woo! What a fun ride! What a fun ride! 5 out of 5. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't wait. 5 out of 5 right off the top. 5 out of 5. I'm gonna tell you right now. We're gonna go over it, but oh my god, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. This is the best Godzilla movie I've seen in a long time. Might be the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen. Let's be honest. Let's keep it 100. This might be the best Godzilla movie I ever goddamn seen in my life. Woo, they did it right. God damn, they did it right. All right, let's start. From Toho comes Godzilla -1. Story, plot, and premise. Mwah. Best it's ever been. Sound design. Haunting. It also uses the original score very, very effectively, especially at one point where like the sound crescendos and then stops. Oh, gripping. Cinematography. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
There are shots in this movie. Yeah, the Godzilla doesn't look as great as the Godzilla in other, especially more American movies. Yes, granted, cinematography was still epic, on point. You could see where they spent the majority of the money on this movie because, oh my god, this movie looks more expensive than it is because that's how good the cinematography is. I can't believe the shots that they were able to get in this movie. Anyway, yeah, cinematography great. Acting, top notch, on point, some of the best in any Godzilla movie, and that's including the one with Bryan Cranston, which is, I gotta admit, up there is one of my favorite ones. But yeah, this acting blows that shit out of the park. Directing, amazing. The guy who did this could do whatever the hell he wants. I know he wants to do like a Star Wars. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Matter of fact, take over the American Godzilla movies because you deserve a better budget and better CGI to make something even more amazing than this, which is incredible because this was already amazing. Anyway, I'm going to go into spoilers. So if you don't want to know literally anything about the movie besides what I just said and the high praise that I gave it, yeah. The only other thing you should know, it is a Japanese movie, so literally coming from Japan directly to America. So if you go see it in theaters, there will be subtitles in English. There will be spoken in Japanese. There is no dub for this yet. Anyway, as of yet. I assume he's going to shop this to streamers. Hopefully, Netflix or somebody picks it up and they dub it, and then there will be dub for those of you that enjoy dub. But just even in Japanese, this movie is, so good. All right, let's get into spoiler territory. So the story, my God, it brought it back to its roots. The original Godzilla was part of the whole, nuclear attacks that happened in Japan and stuff like that, and they basically brought that to the forefront with Godzilla. And this movie takes it to a whole nother level with the stuff that's happening in Japan and the way that they're being attacked, and then how Godzilla is introduced into that whole thing. The main character, how initially I was very put off by him, but I mean, you're supposed to he's supposed to be a coward. He's supposed to be somebody you don't really want to root for, but then he doesn't leave that baby. He becomes a sort of quasi-family with this girl. The neighbor even warms back up to him. All these things where you're like, okay, he's turning around or whatever. And then the tense building. Every time you see Godzilla on screen, it's just, it ups the stakes ever so much, little by little. You see him, first of all, I've never seen him before. He was tinier, technically, but still huge and just chomping the people and throwing them, but I've never seen Godzilla chomp like someone, and then just throw him. That was awesome. That whole sequence on that little island. Then when you see him again, he's in the little tugboat, he's in the little wooden boat, and you're like, oh man, how are you guys going to survive this? And he uses his ability for being a gunner on a plane on the boat to shoot the mine that went into Godzilla's mouth. And then Godzilla just regenerating. Oh my God, Godzilla's relentless in this. Also, he looks crazy. He looks like a monster. You're really, really not on his side. Then at some point he comes to the city and just tears through Japan. And you're like, don't go that way. because, you know, you really feel for these characters, so you actually don't want them to die. You actually care about the human story, which is something that none of these Godzilla movies have been able to do, even back in the Matthew Broderick days, not able to do. The latest, one of the later ones with, again, Bryan Cranston's character and how he's talking to his wife through the glass, that was a more gripping tale, but then even that movie went off the rails with Aaron Taylor Johnson and people, you know, falling from the sky and attacking Godzilla at night or whatever. I don't remember that movie that well. But all that stuff, you know, like, they basically divulged into not caring about the human characters. This really made me care about the human characters. Yeah, like, I felt bad even for people that weren't the main characters. Like, even for the people of Japan suffering through this, knowing that, you know, like, because they really make it a point to show you and to tell you that they're rebuilding Japan after this, you know, after the war. So for this Godzilla giant creature to just come in and just destroy all the things they just rebuilt and all the hope that they had, it's just heart-wrenching. So you're that much more happy when the last time you see Godzilla and it's the giant attack and he's in the fucking sea. They bring him back to the sea and everybody's attacking. All the ships are attacking, and that big crescendo of a blast. Oh man, it's just it hit. I don't really understand the girl being alive, because goddamn, that was a lot of rubble in that attack. But then also her being alive in the end, and that black thing that was coming from her neck, is that she connected to Godzilla somehow, I guess? Is that what they're saying? Because then they show Godzilla kind of coming back to life. Anyway, I don't know what that was about. But Jesus, the beam, the nuclear blast that Godzilla throws has never looked so goddamn good and so goddamn powerful. Oh, I love this movie. Anyway, the acting, like, yes. So initially, you know, I'm watching the movie. It's whatever, you know, who cares, blah, blah, blah. Like, majority of the movie, I'm like, okay, cool, who cares, blah, blah, blah. By the end, when Godzilla starts his, you know, beam attack towards the ships, where, you know, all the side characters basically are, I'm like, don't kill the side, not all of them. Some of them, sure, but not all of them. And I'm thinking they're all going to die, and the main character is going to die, and this little girl's going to be orphaned somewhere, and this is going to be a little girl or whatever, and she might be maybe in the sequel or whatever. But he was able to attack. When the guy showed him that there's a hatch, an escape hatch thing that he could pull to escape, I was like, yo, he's like, you don't have to die for this. And I'm like, exactly. That got me a little emotional. But then I didn't even know I cared so much when the guy gets back to his daughter and they go to the hospital because he gets the note or whatever saying that the girl's alive, and then he walks up the steps to like go, and then she's still alive. It made me a little emotional, I gotta admit. Like, I wasn't expecting to be as emotional. Movie got me very emotional, and I'm like, I really cared about these characters in the end. But yeah, it's they start with the flawed hero, and at the end of his journey, he's no longer a coward. He chooses courage and attacks the monster head on. And also, like, the journey of, like, what war does to you, the PTSD, the struggles, reliving through that, survivor's guilt, all that stuff is happening to this dude. And yeah, just, Jesus, like, a lot of story, a lot of stuff. Godzilla is in this movie, in big parts of the movie, obviously, but he's not the main focus of the movie. It's obviously the main characters, like, the human characters. And he is obviously the menace of the movie, but Jesus, this is, to me, what a monster movie, or what Godzilla movies should be from now on. And this is the blueprint of how they can make good Godzilla movies going forward. Because the Godzilla Kong Empire one looks completely garbage, to be honest. But I'll watch it for the fights of just giant monsters fighting giant monsters, which is the only reason I watch the other ones. But it's not screaming for me to go see it in theaters. When I saw the trailer for this one, I'm like, okay, Godzilla doesn't look that great, but, you know, it looks interesting. He's very menacing. He's destroying things and whatever. I'll go watch it. It's a monster movie. But coming out of it, I'm like, this might be one of the greatest movies this year, right? It's up there. It's really up there. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Hope you guys enjoy this. And this has been another Useless Skill.